Hi, thanks for tuning into the video today. We're going to be working on this guy here. This is a Micron Millennia 11. I got this last summer in 2019 from eBay after having been given a similar computer at work. The work computer that I got was a Micron Millennia with a Pentium 133. I'm pretty much done with those. This is a Pentium II running at 400 megahertz. It has some interesting parts that we'll go over, and we're going to do some upgrades to it. So we might as well get started. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see in here. This is the Pentium II running at 400. It's got a big heatsink. We have a 200 watt Tiger power supply. The most interesting thing in this computer is its AGP, and it has a Diamond Starfighter 3DS card with a DVD decoder card. For testing, I had added a Adaptec SCSI card number 2902BE, AVA 2902BE. Also, the system has a regular floppy drive. It has a zip drive. I put in a 40 gig hard drive and a Pioneer 105 DVD burner. I'm not looking for period accuracy. I want the thing to work. Let's look at the back. Alright, this is pretty straightforward. Here's the power. Here's the PS2 mouse and keyboard, USB 1.1, serial ports, printer port, audio ports, and I think this is a game port, joystick. Yes, it's got a joystick icon, so this is a game port. Then we have the video card. We have the DVD card. Let me pull this out of the way really quick. The DVD card with S-Video out, and then we have my SCSI card that I added earlier. So let's look at the front. Okay, on front we have the DVD burner. We have a 100 megabyte zip drive. We have a 1.44 megabyte floppy drive. The power, the reset, and nothing else. It's got a 5 1/4 inch bay and a 3.5 inch bay that will be used for sure. And that's pretty much it. It's an interesting case design on the front. It just so happens that the rest of the case is pretty familiar. It's really similar to a Dell Dimension 4400. In fact, I think the back of the case is that case. I think this is an OEM design, and the case is generic. So we're going to get everything onto the table that we're going to install, and then we'll get to installing. Okay, so here's the motherboard we're using, an Intel SE440BX-2 from Intel, as I said, for Pentium III processors. Offers versatility and design flexibility. Yes, it has neither sound nor video on board. Some of these came pre-configured with a Yamaha YMF740, which is OPL3 in the chipset. This does not have that. So I get my choice of sound cards. Yay! I also get my choice of video. I'm either going to use the Starfighter inside the machine, but I have another choice. Let me show you the motherboard itself. Okay, so here's the motherboard itself. Chipset heatsink, RAM slots, IDE, AGP slot, 4 PCI, 2 ISA. Here's the slot for the processor, and then if we raise it up, you can see it has only PS2 mouse and keyboard, USB 1.1, serial ports, and a parallel port. That is it. So the guy that sold it to me made it a pretty complete package. I also have all the manuals and paperwork. I have the stickers with the motherboard schematics and I have the driver disc and the I/O shield. Also, we have the rails for the processor. So everything is in here and it's complete. This is the processor. It is an Intel Pentium III running at 850 megahertz. This was sold to me with a motherboard, so this should work just fine. It even says so on the back. You can see that. So this should be perfect for this build. So now on to the controversial choice, as Billy Core from the Nostalgia Mall might say. This is an ATI Radeon 9200. It's AGP, and it has Windows Millennium Edition drivers. They will work in Windows 98. I have checked it out at Phil's Computer Lab. This ain't the best card, but it came complete in the box. I like that if I can get it, so I did. So this should also work just fine in there if I decide not to use the Starfighter. This has 128 megs of DDR RAM, so this should be a great choice in there, and it should work with DOS. If it doesn't, we'll just go and do something different. So this is one sound card choice. This is a Sound Blaster Audigy EAX, and this has almost perfect emulation in DOS. So I will link you to a video from the Nostalgia Mall and Billy Core. He installed one of his in his Carolina Flyer PC, and he put the drivers up on Internet Archive, I think. So I'll be getting the drivers for this, and then we'll see if this will work. But I also have another choice. The other choice might be this AOpen AW840 Cobra. This has a real OPL3 chip on it and a Sound Blaster chipset. This should work perfectly in DOS and Windows. Let's pull it out and I'll show you. So this is the Cobra sound card. It's got all the ports on the back plus a MIDI/joystick port. So that should be fine. And I don't know if we can see that. It's not bare bones at all. This should work perfectly, and I have the box and I have the software, so I don't think I'll have any problem installing this. I got these for $8 on eBay. This is a new StarTech USB 2 card, and it has an internal header. We're going to use this. It has a VIA chipset. We're going to use this in concert with this. This is a Bitech Support SDXC card reader. This has beige, silver, and black front panel, interchangeable, so it should be fine. It also has a USB header cable on it, and we're going to hook it up to the StarTech with this. This is a simple USB 2 female header to USB-A. This will work with the StarTech USB card and give me the front panel USB that is so desperately needed. This is 512 megs of RAM. This computer needs networking, so I have a Gigabit PCI adapter from TrendNet. This has Windows 98 drivers, so it should be fine. I don't like putting fast Ethernet or 10BASE-T on my network because it drags the whole network down with it. So this should be perfect when I do hook it up and try to use it. The PC already has a ZIP 100 in it that works fine. I happen to have this ZIP 250. It is a tappy, so I'm going to use this instead. Because I have my PowerMac G4 upstairs hooked to a FireWire ZIP 250, and that means that I can use it to download files and transfer if I don't want to use USB. If I feel retro. So I have a PowerMac G4 with mirrored drive doors, and I'm on the Vintage Macintosh page on Facebook, and everyone says those mirror drive door PowerMacs sound like a jet engine taking off. Well, they haven't heard this Micron. That fan's about ready to go anyway, I think. So I have this. It is just a regular Cooler Master 92mm ST1, or 90mm I should say, ST1, and this should help the noise output immensely. Since I have the ability to print on white CDs from my inkjet printer, I did this. So this is Windows 98 2nd edition, and I also have all the other drivers to make this build work. So we will get to building, and then I'll be back with progress, and I'll show you where I'm at. Sorry, forgot to mention, I also have this, if I can get it in the shot. I also have this. It's a Seagate 7200.7 80 gigabyte hard drive. I think it's a Barracuda, but I'm not sure. Yes, Barracuda 7200.7. This is a little more modern, but it's pretty good. Also, I have the Micron multimedia keyboard and mouse, and hopefully that will, well, that works. I mean, but I don't have drivers for the multimedia part, so I'll have to find them, and I don't know if I can. There was a website for Micron drivers. It was a mirror of their original site, and now I think that is toast. So I'm going to have to check that. Okay, so in order to take out this motherboard, we have to take out the heatsink fan shroud, the bar, and the retaining clip for the graphics card. So I will do that, and then I'll be right back. So it's a few hours later because my wife and I had dinner and we watched a little TV. And this is the fan I just replaced. Actually, this is the fan that comes out of the computer. This is the fan that's going in the computer. And I think I got it backwards too. I think the fan exhausts, so I've got it pointed inwards, so I got to flip it over. So I'll be right back. So there's a motherboard in all of its glory. It is out, and now it'll be time to assemble the new motherboard and put it in. I'm going to run over the inside of the case with some simple green just to make sure that it's nice and spotless. I will be right back. Here's the I/O shield I just ripped out of the case for the old motherboard. I managed not to bend it. This old one has a Legends. In fact, it's got lots of Legends. The new one does not, but I don't need them. It has no sound, so we'll put this aside and we'll put the new one in. The next time you see the case, it will have a motherboard in it. Well, I said the I/O shield will be on, and I am right. It's back on. The one that comes with the Intel motherboard is too wide and too long, so it will not fit in there. It has the same hole configuration as the stock motherboard. So what I did was I took some of this aluminum tape and covered up the inside. It's not an elegant fix, but it'll keep the dirt and things out of the case. So back to the build. Okay, it's in there, and it appears to be in okay. So now the next step is to plug in the board, put in the RAM, and plug up the front panels. I'll do that right now. So it's almost all built. I just have to hook everything up. Let me tell you, I went ahead and cleared the decks a little bit because it was a mess down here. Because when I go into mad scientist mode, I really do. Just call me Doc Brown. I'm using the ATI Radeon 9200. I've got the Ethernet card here. I'm using the Sound Blaster. I'm going to try that and see what it's like. Got the USB 2 card in this slot, and I have the SCSI card in this slot. So that's all the PCI slots are populated. As far as the front is concerned, let's move back a little bit. We'll zoom in a little bit. You can see that I have the CD drive, the zip drive, the floppy drive. The other thing I decided not to put in right now is the card reader, because the USB cable will not reach from here all the way down to the USB card, so I need an extension cord. So I've already ordered a set, and that's all you can do when you need only a foot-long cord. You need a set, obviously. Let's put it together and we'll see if it boots up. Okay, here we go. We're going to turn it on. We're going to see if it fires up. And nothing. Okay, we had a couple of false starts there, but I think we're going to be all right. Please work. Yes. Pentium III, 1 gigahertz. It's been overclocked. That's what I meant. So there's no operating system, obviously. So let me change positions here really quick and we'll be right back. We're going to get in there with my custom Windows 98 disk, which is not really custom, it's just printed that way. But before we do that, I want to look at the BIOS real quick. So I'm just going to hit the reset key again. I don't know how you get into the BIOS on this computer. Hit F2. There we are. And yes, I've got 128 megs in each bank, which means that I got gypped because he said it was 512. Okay, well, it's too late to return them because I wait too long to do these things or to check them. So I want numlock on. I'm on cable select on the Pioneer DVD and the iOmega Zip 250. I'm glad the Zip 250 worked. My floppy option is, the floppy's disabled. Let's do that. Diskette A is a 1.44 megabyte 3.5. Okay, that was good to check because I probably would have put in a floppy disk and it wouldn't have worked. No user password. Power management. No, I think we'll leave it that way. Boot. Quick boot. Scan and use a flash area. Make a zip. Okay, there's no option for booting from a floppy drive, apparently. Press plus to move it up. Okay, I think that works now. Alright, so this machine should boot from the CD, which is fine. I'm going to boot from the CD. I'm going to start the CD-ROM support. So, drive E, so let's see, CD E. E. It's been a while since I've done this. dir/W. CD198. Format C /S. Transfer the system. Yes. So this is going to take forever. I don't know, that drive is not reporting correctly, looks like. It's supposed to be an 80, but it isn't. That's distressing. Well, we'll let it format and we'll see what the size is.